When we talk about cursed footballers, which player comes to your mind first? Is it someone who was constantly sidelined by injuries, or a player whose life off the pitch was filled with tragedy and heartbreak? Football is a game of passion, skill, and glory. But for some players, it seems like destiny had other plans. No matter how much talent they possess or how hard they try, their careers are plagued by a string of bad luck, bizarre events, or unexplainable misfortunes. In this video, we're diving into the world of 10 cursed football players, those whose lives and careers make you wonder if fate has something against them. Stay tuned because some of these stories are heartbreaking, unbelievable, and even downright eerie. Are these just coincidences, or is there something more at play? Let's find out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to make sure you don't miss out on more football stories. There are 10 football players who have been cursed with misfortunes, and one of the most unfortunate names on this list is Aguero. Aguero spent a decade at Manchester City, where he became their all-time top scorer and arguably their greatest player ever. By 2014, he had collected nearly every major trophy with City except for the elusive Champions League. Determined, he promised fans he wouldn't leave until City were crowned European champions. Fast forward to 2021, and after another near miss, Aguero decided it was time to move on, ending his incredible run with City. Just one season later, Erling Haaland arrived as his replacement and powered City to their first ever Champions League title. Unfortunately, his heartbreak didn't end there. Aguero also spent 15 years representing Argentina, coming painfully close to winning the World Cup, but never quite managing it. In 2021, he announced his retirement from international football. Just 1 year later, Argentina lifted the World Cup without him. Missing out on the two biggest trophies in football by a single year each? That's a bitter pill to swallow. But Aguero isn't the only one with a tale of missed glory. Steven Gerrard's story involves not just bad luck, but a single moment that haunted him forever. In 2014, Liverpool were locked in a tight Premier League title race with Manchester City and Chelsea. Late in the season, Liverpool beat City, giving them a 5-point lead at the top of the table. It seemed like the perfect opportunity for Gerrard to finally win the league title that had eluded him and his beloved club for over 20 years. After that critical win, Gerrard rallied his teammates with the now infamous words, "We don't let this slip. We go again." Fate, however, had other plans. In their next match against Chelsea, Gerrard suffered his infamous slip, gifting the ball to Demba Ba, who scored and ultimately derailed Liverpool's title hopes. Liverpool never recovered, and Gerrard never won the Premier League, remaining loyal to the club until his retirement. For Aguero and Gerrard, their legacies are legendary, but the moments they missed will forever be etched into football history. But Philippe Coutinho, who made a decision that turned out to be the biggest mistake of his career leaving Liverpool. When Jurgen Klopp first took over at Liverpool, the team was far from the powerhouse it is today. They struggled with inconsistency, and there was little evidence that major trophies were on the horizon. Coutinho, the standout star of the squad, wanted to compete for the biggest titles, so he pushed hard for a move to a bigger club. In January 2018, Barcelona came calling, and Coutinho was sold for a whopping £142 million. But this is where his fortunes took a turn for the worse. Liverpool used the transfer fee to bring in Virgil van Dijk and Alisson Becker, two signings that completely transformed the team. By the very next season, Liverpool lifted the Champions League trophy, and a year later they ended their 30-year wait to win the Premier League, establishing themselves as one of the top teams in Europe. Meanwhile, Coutinho joined a Barcelona side that was beginning to decline. Things didn't go smoothly for him in Spain. His performances dropped, and he never managed to recapture the brilliance he displayed at Liverpool. While he did win a league title with Barcelona, it simply didn't compare to the success Liverpool enjoyed after his departure. In hindsight, Coutinho's decision to leave Liverpool might have cost him the chance to cement his legacy as one of football's greats. But Coutinho's story pales in comparison to the heartbreak of João Cancelo, who missed out on one of the most historic achievements in football during 2023. Cancelo, once a key player for Manchester City, had fallen out of favor with Pep Guardiola and was loaned to Bayern Munich in January, a move that seemed mutually beneficial. Cancelo was guaranteed more playing time, and City offloaded a player, causing some friction. But by the end of the season, Cancelo's decision turned into a nightmare. Manchester City not only eliminated Bayern Munich from the Champions League, but went on to win the tournament for the first time in their history. To make it worse, they also claimed the Premier League and the FA Cup, completing an incredible treble, a moment Cancelo missed because of his 6-month loan spell. Zlatan Ibrahimovic is another incredible player who just couldn't conquer the Champions League, and it seems like bad luck followed him in this competition. Throughout his legendary career, Zlatan has played for some of the biggest clubs in Europe and collected countless trophies, but the Champions League always slipped through his fingers, even when he came so close. In 2009, he left Inter Milan to join Barcelona, only to watch Inter win the Champions League that very season. Then, after spending just 1 year at Barcelona, he moved to AC Milan. And guess what? That season, Barcelona went on to lift the Champions League trophy. It's as if Zlatan has a strange curse when it comes to this competition, a true Champions League repellent. That's some bad luck. But Michael Ballack's misfortune might be even harder to swallow because it hit him both at club and international level. Michael Ballack might just hold the title for the unluckiest year in football history. In 2002, he endured heartbreak after heartbreak, finishing as a runner-up in 4 major competitions within just 2 months. This brutal string of near misses earned him the nickname Mr. Silver Medal. At the time, Ballack was playing for Bayer Leverkusen and was widely regarded as one of the best midfielders in the game. That season, Leverkusen found themselves in a dream position, chasing an incredible treble. They were leading the Bundesliga and they had made it to the finals of both the German Cup and the Champions League. But things fell apart in the most devastating way. Leverkusen lost their grip on the Bundesliga, finishing second to Dortmund by a single point after back-to-back defeats in their final 2 games. A week later, they were defeated 4-2 by Schalke in the German Cup final. Still, all hope wasn't lost. The Champions League final was yet to come, and it was their biggest shot at redemption. Unfortunately, Leverkusen fell short again, losing to Real Madrid courtesy of a stunning Zidane volley that sealed the deal. The club season was over, but Ballack had one last chance to lift a major trophy that year, the World Cup. Germany made it all the way to the final, with Ballack delivering incredible performances throughout the tournament. But his dreams were shattered yet again as Ronaldo Nazario scored twice to secure the trophy for Brazil, leaving Ballack with his 4th silver medal in just 2 months. Despite an illustrious career, Michael Ballack never managed to win either the World Cup or the Champions League, always falling agonizingly short of glory. His story remains a poignant reminder of just how cruel football can be, even for the very best. On to the next Harry Kane, a player who just can't seem to catch a break. With over 350 career goals and a reputation as one of the best strikers in the world, you'd think Kane's trophy cabinet would be overflowing. But despite his brilliance on the pitch, Kane has yet to win a single major trophy. It's as if he's been afflicted by the infamous Spurs trophyless curse. During his 12 years at Tottenham, Kane came agonizingly close to glory several times, but always fell short. He's lost 5 finals across club and international competitions and missed out on Premier League titles more than once. So, at 29 years old, desperate for silverware, Kane made the leap to a club practically synonymous with winning, Bayern Munich. Surely joining a team that's dominated the Bundesliga for 11 straight seasons would end his drought, right? Wrong. While Kane left Tottenham, the curse seemed to follow him. His first game for Bayern was the German Super Cup final, which they lost. Things only got worse as Bayern crashed out of the DFB Pokal in the second round, an embarrassment for a club of their stature, and their 11 straight Bundesliga title run was ended to Bayer Leverkusen. Kane's search for a trophy will stretch on for yet another season. On the bright side, Spurs aren't exactly winning trophies either, so he's not missing out there. If bad luck had a football league, these players would undoubtedly be captains. Antoine Griezmann's luck in La Liga has been nothing short of puzzling. Despite spending 9 straight years in the league, every time he switched clubs, the team he left behind ended up winning the title. In 2014, Atletico Madrid were crowned La Liga champions. The following season, Griezmann joined Atletico, where he spent 5 years. During his time there, he came agonizingly close to major success, losing a Champions League final and finishing as La Liga runners-up twice, both times to Barcelona. Hoping to finally win the league, Griezmann moved to Barcelona in 2019. But the gamble didn't pay off. Shortly after his departure, Atletico Madrid won La Liga again for the first time since 2014. After a disappointing 2 years at Barcelona, Griezmann returned to Atletico, but by then, Barcelona had finally ended their league drought, winning the title the following season. It's hard not to feel for Griezmann. If he'd stayed at Atletico the whole time, he could have finally secured that elusive league title. At least he's enjoyed international success. Something Marco Reus, one of the unluckiest German players ever, can't quite say. Reus joined Borussia Dortmund in 2012, right after they had won back-to-back Bundesliga titles in 2011 and 2012. Since then, Bayern Munich have dominated, winning 11 consecutive league titles, while Reus and Dortmund finished runners-up an agonizing 7 times. Reus has also experienced heartbreak in the Champions League, losing the 2013 final to, you guessed it, Bayern Munich. But his worst moment came in 2014, a year that could have brought him the ultimate glory. Throughout his career, Reus has battled with injuries, suffering a staggering 66 setbacks that have kept him sidelined for over 1,300 days. That's more than 3.5 years out of action. Despite his injury struggles, Reus remained a key player for both Dortmund and the German national team. As the 2014 World Cup approached, he had managed to stay fit, but disaster struck just before the tournament. In a friendly match, Reus tore a ligament in his left ankle, ruling him out of the World Cup. That summer, Germany went on to win the tournament, leaving Reus heartbroken as injury robbed him of what could have been the highlight of his career. If we're talking about players who were cursed by injuries, Ronaldo Nazario's name has to come up. Without a doubt, he could have been the undisputed greatest of all time if it weren't for his terrible luck. Ronaldo, famously known as R9 or El Fenomeno, moved from Brazil to Europe in 1994 and quickly became a sensation. He had everything: blistering pace, immense power, dazzling skills, and that signature Brazilian flair. By the time he was just 23 years old and playing for Inter Milan in 1999, Ronaldo had already racked up an unbelievable 138 goals in 152 games. His talent was undeniable, earning him a Ballon d'Or and recognition as the best player in the world. Even the legendary Paolo Maldini once compared him to Diego Maradona, calling them the two toughest opponents he ever faced. But just when Ronaldo seemed unstoppable, disaster struck. During a Serie A match against Lecce, he ruptured a tendon in his knee, a devastating injury. After months of grueling recovery, Ronaldo made his return later that season, only for tragedy to strike again. Just 6 minutes into his comeback game, his knee gave out, this time much worse. According to Inter Milan's physiotherapist, his kneecap had practically exploded, a horrific injury that sidelined him for nearly 3 years. Against all odds, Ronaldo fought his way back and made one of the greatest comebacks in football history. In 2002, he led Brazil to World Cup glory and earned his second Ballon d'Or. But injuries weren't done with him yet. The rest of his career became a constant battle against recurring setbacks, compounded by weight issues as he struggled to maintain peak fitness. Even with all these challenges, Ronaldo remained a force on the pitch and secured his legacy as one of football's greatest players. But it's hard not to wonder, if those injuries had never happened, would there even be a GOAT debate? With his extraordinary talent, Ronaldo might have stood alone at the very top. If you're enjoying these stories, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Got ideas for other big football projects we should dive into? Share your thoughts below. Until next time.